The phone on the counter buzzed, just as the front door clicked shut behind Sarah. Mike froze, coffee mug halfway to his lips, catching the glow of her screen before it faded. A single message from Jake lit up. "Miss you already." His stomach twisted, but he didn't move. The silence of the Tacoma house pressed in, broken only by the hum of the fridge. Sarah was off to another team retreat in Seattle, her third this year, leaving Mike with their kids and a truth he could no longer ignore. Mike Thompson, 42, was a logistics manager who kept life steady in their suburban home. He coached Noah's soccer team, drove Olivia to dance class, and fired up the grill for Saturday barbecues. His days revolve around his kids. Noah, 15, sharp-witted but quiet, and Olivia, 8, a whirlwind of glitter and questions. Sarah, his wife of 17 years, worked at a sleek marketing firm in Seattle. Her job demanded late nights, client dinners, and weekend getaways framed as essential networking. At first, Mike believed her. He wanted to, but the retreats grew frequent, her hugs briefer, her smiles reserved for her phone. Their marriage hadn't always been this way. They used to stay up late, laughing over cheap wine, planning camping trips to Mount Rainier. Now, conversations were clipped, schedules, bills, reminders about Noah's math tutor. Mike noticed the signs, but buried them. The way Sarah locked her phone faster when he entered the room. The new perfume she wore only for work. The way she'd sigh, "I'm just tired," when he tried to talk. He told himself it was normal, that marriages ebbed after nearly 2 decades. But that morning, the text from Jake cracked his denial. He set the mug down, the coffee untouched, and glanced at the clock. 7:03 a.m. Noah would be up soon, rummaging for cereal. Olivia would follow, asking if she could wear her sparkly sneakers to school. Mike's routine was his anchor, but today it felt like a tether to a life slipping away. He didn't want to be the guy who snooped, but his fingers moved before his brain caught up. He tapped Sarah's phone, the passcode unchanged since their anniversary. The message thread with Jake was short but damning. Emojis, late-night check-ins, a photo of them at a wine bar, her smile brighter than Mike had seen in years. He locked the phone and leaned against the counter, steadying his breath. No yelling, no smashing dishes, just a cold clarity settling in. Sarah wasn't just drifting. She was gone. Mike wasn't angry, not yet. He was tired. Tired of pretending, of carrying the family while she built a life elsewhere. He thought of Noah, who'd stopped asking why mom worked late, and Olivia, who still drew pictures of them as a family of 4. They deserved better. So did he. Upstairs, Noah's alarm blared, followed by the thud of feet. "Dad, you see my charger?" he called, already halfway down the stairs. Mike forced a smile, sliding Sarah's phone back to its spot. "Check the couch," he said, his voice even. Noah grunted, earbuds dangling, and disappeared into the living room. Olivia bounced in next, clutching a stuffed bunny. "Can we make pancakes?" "The ones with chocolate chips." Mike nodded, ruffling her hair. "Sure, kiddo. Get the mix." As the kids ate, Mike kept the morning normal, packing lunches, signing a permission slip, teasing Noah about his messy hair. But his mind was elsewhere. He wouldn't confront Sarah, not yet. He'd seen enough TV dramas to know that blowing up could backfire. Instead, he'd be smart. He'd protect his kids, his home, himself. After dropping Olivia at school and Noah at the bus stop, Mike pulled out his laptop. He searched for a family lawyer in Tacoma, jotting down a name and number. Then he booked a session with a therapist, someone to help him navigate the storm without losing himself. By noon, he was back at the kitchen table, the house quiet again. He opened a new tab and typed apartment for rent near Tacoma. It wasn't a plan, not yet, just a step. A 3-bedroom popped up, affordable, with a small yard and a porch that looked like a fresh start. He saved the link. The kids would need stability, a place that felt like theirs. He'd make it work. Noah texted around lunch. "Astra's practice till 5. Can you grab me?" "Astra's," Mike replied. "Got you." Olivia's teacher emailed about a spring recital, and Mike added it to his calendar. Life didn't pause, and neither could he. He wasn't sure what came next. Lawyers, tough talks, maybe a new address. But for the first time in months, he felt a spark of control. Not the frantic kind, but the quiet kind, like a man who'd remembered how to steer his own ship. As the afternoon sun cut through the drizzle, Mike stepped onto the back deck, phone in hand. He didn't call Sarah. He didn't need her excuses or half-truths. Instead, he texted a friend, Mark, who'd been through a divorce. Asterisk need advice. Can we talk? Asterisk Mark replied instantly. Asterisk anytime, man. You okay? Asterisk Mike typed back, getting there. He pocketed the phone and looked out at the yard, where Olivia's soccer ball sat in the grass. This was his life, his kids, his choices, his fight. And he was ready to start fighting for it. Mike sat in his truck outside Noah's soccer practice, the engine off, rain tapping the windshield. His phone buzzed. Another post from Sarah's retreat. A blurry selfie, her laughing with colleagues, a glass of rose in hand. Jake was there, arms slung casually around her chair. The caption read, Team Vibes hashtag work hard, play hard. Mike's jaw tightened, but he swiped it away. He'd seen enough. The text from Jake that morning was still burned into his mind, and now this. It wasn't just a retreat. It was her escape. Back home, he kept things steady for the kids. Noah sprawled on the couch, scrolling through his phone, while Olivia colored at the kitchen table, humming a pop song. Dad, can we order pizza? She asked, holding up a drawing of a rainbow. Mike grinned. Only if you share. She giggled, and for a moment, the weight lifted. But alone in his office later, he opened his laptop. The lawyer's email had come through. A consultation tomorrow. Mike replied, attaching a screenshot of Sarah's text with Jake. Evidence, the lawyer had said, could make all the difference. The next morning, Mike met Mark at a coffee shop in downtown Tacoma. Mark, a high school buddy who'd navigated a messy divorce, leaned back in his chair. You sure about this, man? Once you start, it's hard to go back. Mike nodded, stirring his coffee. She's already gone, Mark. I'm just making it official. Mark sighed, then shared tips. Document everything, stay calm, focus on the kids. And don't let her twist the story, he added. People like her, they rewrite history to feel better. Mike's chest tightened. Rewrite history. He'd heard whispers from a mutual friend, Sarah complaining at work that Mike was distant, that their marriage stifled her. The nerve of it stung. He'd been the one holding the family together, cooking dinners, cheering at Olivia's recitals, while Sarah chased her new life. But Mark's words stuck. She was building a narrative, one where Mike was the problem. He wouldn't let her win that game. That evening, Sarah called. Her voice was light, like nothing was wrong. Just checking in. Kid's okay. Mike kept his tone even. They're fine. Noah's got a game Saturday. Olivia's practicing for her recital. Sarah hummed, distracted. Great. I'll be back Sunday. Maybe we can do something fun. Mike didn't reply. Fun. Like she hadn't spent months pulling away, leaving him to pick up the pieces. He hung up, his hand steady, but his mind racing. The lawyer's office was small, with a view of Puget Sound. Ms. Carter, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s, scanned the screenshots. This helps, she said. Washington's a no-fault state, but evidence of infidelity can sway custody or assets. Mike leaned forward. I just want what's best for Noah and Olivia. A stable home. Carter nodded. Then we build a case around you as the primary parent. Stay calm, keep records, and don't confront her yet. Mike agreed. Confrontation could tip Sarah off. Let her spin her story first. At home, he started small changes. He cleared out a guest room, moving Sarah's untouched yoga gear to storage. It felt symbolic, carving out space for himself. No one noticed, pausing in the hallway. You rearranging or something? Mike shrugged. Just making room. Noah didn't push, but his eyes lingered, like he sensed the shift. Olivia, oblivious, dragged Mike to the backyard to kick a soccer ball. Her laughter was a lifeline, pulling him back from the edge. Later, Mike called the therapist he'd booked. Dr. Ellis, a calm voice on the line, asked about his goals. I want to be okay, Mike said. For me, for the kids. I don't want this to break us. Ellis suggested weekly sessions to process the hurt, to rebuild confidence. Mike hung up feeling lighter, like he'd taken a step towards solid ground. By Friday, Sarah posted again, a shot of the Seattle skyline, captioned City Nights. No mention of the kids, no check-in. Mike saved the post, another piece of proof. He wasn't spying, just protecting what mattered. Noah came home late from practice, tossing his cleats by the door. "Mom call?" he asked, casual but pointed. Mike shook his head. "She's busy." Noah's face hardened, and he headed upstairs without another word. Mike saw it then. Noah knew more than he let on. Kids always did. Mike tucked Olivia in that night, reading her favorite book about a brave squirrel. She yawned, clutching her bunny. "Is Mom coming to my recital?" Mike brushed her hair back. "We'll see, kiddo. But I'll be there, front row." She smiled, content, and Mike's resolve hardened. He'd shield them from Sarah's choices, no matter what. As he closed her door, he checked his email. The apartment listing was still open. He filled out the application, his fingers steady. It wasn't running away. It was building something new. Mike was washing dishes when Noah stormed into the kitchen, phone in hand. "Dad, you seen this?" He thrust the screen forward. A group chat from Sarah's work, accidentally forwarded to Noah by a friend's parent. It was a thread about the retreat, with Sarah joking about needing a break from home and a winking emoji next to Jake's name. Mike's pulse spiked, but he kept his face neutral. "Yeah, I know," he said, drying his hands. Noah's eyes narrowed. "So, what are you going to do?" Mike met his gaze. "What I have to. For us." Noah nodded, jaw tight, and walked out. The moment shook Mike. Noah wasn't just suspicious, he was hurt. Mike added the screenshot to his growing file, each piece of brick in the wall he was building to protect his family. Sarah's retreat ended Sunday, but her texts were sparse, just a breezy "see you soon" that felt like an afterthought. Mike didn't reply. He was done playing along. Instead, he focused on the kids. He took Olivia to the park, pushing her on the swings while she chattered about her recital. Noah joined them, kicking a soccer ball nearby, his silence louder than words. Monday morning, Mike met with Ms. Carter again. She reviewed the new screenshot, her pen tapping the desk. "This shows a pattern of disengagement," she said. "It strengthens your case for primary custody." Mike exhaled, relief mixing with dread. What about Sarah? Would she fight this? Carter shrugged. She might try to spin it, paint herself as the victim. Be ready for that. Mike nodded, remembering Mark's warning about rewriting history. He wouldn't let Sarah's lies unravel his truth. That afternoon, a coworker of Sarah's, Jen, called Mike. They'd met at a company picnic, bonded over bad karaoke. Her voice was low, hesitant. "Mike, I heard something at work. Sarah's telling people you've been checked out for years, that she's the one holding the marriage together. I don't buy it, but heads up." Mike thanked her, his grip tight on the phone. It was worse than he thought. Sarah wasn't just drifting. She was laying groundwork to blame him, to justify her choices. The betrayal cut deeper than the text with Jake. He didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, he leaned into his plan. The apartment application was approved. A cozy 3-bedroom with a view of Mount Rainier. Mike signed the lease, keeping it quiet from the kids until he could show them something real. He started packing essentials. Noah's game console, Olivia's art supplies, his favorite coffee mug. Sarah's things, her dresses, her books, he left untouched. They belonged to a life he was leaving behind. Sarah returned Sunday night, her suitcase rattling in the hall. She looked tired, her smile forced. "Missed you guys," she said, ruffling Olivia's hair. Olivia hugged her but pulled back quickly, clutching her bunny. Noah barely looked up from his phone. Mike watched, silent, as Sarah chatted about the retreat. Keynotes, team building, nothing about Jake. Her act was polished, but Mike saw through it. He kept his distance, nodding when she spoke, his mind on the lawyer's advice. Stay calm, don't tip her off. The next day, Mike took the kids to see the apartment. He framed it as an adventure. "Just checking out a cool place," he said, tossing Noah the keys. The building was modest, with a small yard and a porch swing. Olivia ran inside, claiming a room with a sunny window. "Can I paint it yellow?" she asked, bouncing. Mike laughed. "We'll see." Noah wandered through, quieter, but he plugged in his console to test the outlets. "It's not bad," he muttered, which Mike knew was high praise. That evening, Sarah cornered Mike in the kitchen. "You've been weird," she said, arms crossed. "Everything okay?" Her tone was casual, but her eyes searched his face. Mike shrugged, rinsing a plate. "Just busy. Kids have a lot going on." She frowned but didn't push. Mike's heart raced, but he held steady. She didn't know about the lawyer, the apartment, the screenshots. Not yet, but the clock was ticking. Dr. Ellis, his therapist, helped Mike process the anger bubbling up. "You're not just grieving the marriage," she said in their second session. "You're grieving the version of her you thought you knew." Mike nodded, the words hitting hard. He didn't want to hate Sarah, but he couldn't forgive her either. Not for the lies, not for the way she'd let Noah and Olivia down. Ellis gave him tools, breathing exercises, journaling, focusing on what he could control. It worked mostly. By Wednesday, Mike had movers booked for the weekend. He told the kids they'd be trying out the new place, keeping it light to ease their worry. Olivia was excited, already planning a pizza night on the floor. Noah was harder to read, his questions sharp. "Is this because of Mom?" he asked, catching Mike off guard. Mike paused, then said, "It's because we need a fresh start. All of us." Noah didn't reply, but he helped pack, a quiet sign of trust. Mike held on to that, a lifeline in the storm. Mike stood in the new apartment, surrounded by half-unpacked boxes. The Tacoma air smelled of rain and fresh paint. Olivia was taping her rainbow drawings to the fridge, humming, while Noah set up his gaming console in the corner. The move had gone smoothly. Movers, pizza, even a laugh when Olivia dropped a box of stuffed animals. But Mike's phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. "Asterisk, where are you?" "Kids aren't home." Asterisk, his stomach tightened. He typed back, short and final. Asterisk, we moved. Address is 1427 Maple Street. "We're okay." Asterisk, then he silenced the phone. The decision to leave wasn't impulsive. Mike had spent weeks planning, guided by Ms. Carter's advice and Dr. Ellis's steady voice. He'd file for divorce, citing Sarah's disengagement, backed by screenshots and Jen's tip about her workplace lies. Carter was clear. "You're the stable parent." Courts favor that. Mike didn't want a war, just a fair shot at giving Noah and Olivia the home they deserved. He told them gently, over ice cream, that things with Mom were changing, but he'd always be there. Olivia nodded, licking sprinkles. Noah just stared at his bowl, but later he hugged Mike, quick and wordless. Sarah showed up the next morning, her car screeching into the lot. Mike saw her through the window, hair messy, still in her work blazer. He opened the door before she knocked, keeping his voice low. "No scenes. Kids are inside." Her eyes were wild, darting past him. "You can't just take them," she said, voice cracking. Mike stepped forward, calm but firm. "I didn't take them. We left. You've been gone a long time, Sarah." She flinched, like the words were a slap. "That's not fair." Mike tilted his head. "Isn't it?" She tried to push past, but Mike held the doorframe. "Not now. They need time." Sarah's face crumpled, tears spilling. "I messed up, okay? I got caught up in work and everything. But I'm still their mom." Mike nodded, his chest heavy but resolute. "You are, and they'll see you when they're ready. But this is our home now." Sarah stood there, rain soaking her blazer, then turned and walked back to her car. Mike watched her drive off, not out of doubt, but to mark the moment. A door had closed. Inside, Olivia was coloring, oblivious. Noah, though, caught Mike's eye from the couch. "Was that Mom?" he asked, headphones off. Mike nodded. "She wanted to see you guys. I told her to wait." Noah paused, then shrugged. "Good." The single word carried years of unspoken hurt. Mike sat beside him, not pushing, just there. They watched a dumb action movie, the normalcy a quiet victory. Dr. Ellis helped Mike unpack the guilt. "You're not punishing Sarah," she said. "You're setting boundaries." Mike clung to that. He wasn't the bad guy for choosing his kids, for choosing himself. He started running again, slow jogs through the neighborhood, the rhythm clearing his head. He enrolled in a leadership course online, small steps to rebuild the confidence Sarah's lies had chipped away. At home, he and the kids made new routines, Taco Tuesdays, board game nights. Olivia insisted on painting her room yellow, and Mike bought the cans, laughing as she splattered paint on her sneakers. Ms. Carter called with updates. Sarah had hired a lawyer, claiming Mike had abandoned her. But the screenshots, Jen's testimony, and Noah's reluctant statement about Sarah's absence painted a different picture. "She's got no leverage," Carter said. "Stay the course." Mike did, documenting every soccer game he coached, every recital he clapped for. He was building a case, but more than that, he was building a life. One night, Olivia crawled into Mike's bed, clutching her bunny. "Is Mom mad at me?" she whispered. Mike's heart cracked. "No, kiddo. She's just figuring things out. But you and Noah, you're my team. Always." She smiled, snuggling closer, and fell asleep. Noah was tougher, his anger at Sarah simmering. Mike gave him space, but checked in, asking about school, friends, the new Call of Duty. Small talks, big trust. Sarah's text slowed, then stopped. Mike heard through Jen that she'd lost her shine at work. Colleagues distanced themselves when her story unraveled. Jake, predictably, faded too. Mike didn't gloat. He didn't need to. He was too busy living, helping Noah with his science project, cheering Olivia at her dance class, grilling burgers for their first backyard barbecue in the new place. The apartment didn't feel temporary anymore. It was home, yellow walls and all. Mike stood in the courtroom, hands steady, as the judge reviewed the case. Miss Carter had prepped him well, screenshots, witness statements, and a log of his time with Noah and Olivia formed a clear picture. Sarah sat across the room, her lawyer whispering, her face pale. She tried to spin the story, claiming Mike had pushed her away, but the evidence told the truth. She'd checked out long before he packed a box. The judge's ruling was swift. Mike got primary custody, Sarah got visitation. No drama, just facts. Mike exhaled, the weight lifting. Outside, Sarah approached, eyes red. "I didn't want this," she said, voice low. Mike nodded, keeping it civil. "Neither did I, but we're here." She opened her mouth, maybe to argue, then stopped. She walked away, and Mike let her go. He didn't need her apologies. He needed to get home to his kids. Noah was at soccer practice, Olivia at school, and Mike had promised pizza for dinner. That was his world now, and it was enough. The new apartment buzzed with life. Noah's sneakers cluttered the hall. Olivia's artwork covered the fridge. They'd settled into a rhythm: school, game nights, lazy Sundays with pancakes. Mike kept things light, but he was honest when the kids asked about Sarah. "She loves you," he told Olivia after a visit. "She's just finding her way." Olivia nodded, showing him a drawing from Sarah's ice cream outing, a shaky heart around their names. Noah was slower to thaw, but he went to a movie with Sarah, coming back quiet but not angry. Mike didn't pry. They'd find their path with her, and he'd support it. One evening, Olivia ran in from dance class, waving a flyer. "My recital's next week. You're coming, right?" Mike grinned, taping the flyer to the fridge. "Front row, kiddo." Noah smirked from the couch. "Better bring earplugs." "She's loud." Olivia stuck out her tongue, and Mike laughed, the sound filling the room. Later, he helped Noah with a history project, their heads bent over a laptop, debating the Civil War. These moments, small and real, were the glue holding them together. Sarah's visits became regular. Ice cream with Olivia, coffee with Noah. She stayed respectful, never pushing boundaries. Mike heard she'd moved to a smaller place in Seattle, her work life quieter now. Jen mentioned Sarah had apologized to the team, owning her mistakes. Mike didn't care much. His focus was forward. He'd started volunteering at Noah's school, coaching extra soccer drills. He ran most mornings the Tacoma Hills, clearing his mind. His leadership course wrapped up, earning him a certificate he hung in his office. Small wins, but they added up. One night, Olivia gave Mike a drawing. Him, her, Noah, and their dog, all smiling under a yellow sun. "This is us," she said, beaming. Mike hugged her, his throat tight. "It sure is." Noah glanced over, rolling his eyes but smiling. "Cheesy," he muttered, then joined the hug. Mike held them close, the moment solid, unbreakable. This was the family he'd fought for, not perfect, but his. Sarah sent a letter a month later, handwritten, no return address. "I see now how much I lost," she wrote. "Asterisk, I was selfish, and I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness, just know I'm trying to be better." Asterisk. Mike read it once, then tucked it in a drawer with old photos. He didn't reply. Forgiveness might come later, but peace was here now. He didn't hate Sarah. He wished her well, from a distance. His energy was for Noah, Olivia, and the life they were building. Spring rolled into Tacoma, soft and green. The apartment's porch swing creaked as Mike sipped coffee, watching Olivia kick a soccer ball in the yard. Noah joined him, phone down for once. "You think we'll stay here?" he asked, squinting at the horizon. Mike nodded. As long as it feels right. Noah grinned. Cool. That night, they grilled burgers, Olivia insisting on extra cheese. The laughter, the clink of plates, the dog barking a squirrel. It was home. At Olivia's recital, Mike clapped until his hands hurt, Noah whistling beside him. Sarah was there, a few rows back, clapping too. They nodded at each other, no words needed. After, Olivia ran to Mike, her costume sparkling. "Did I do good?" she asked. "You were a star," he said, lifting her up. She giggled, and Noah high-fived her. Mike caught Sarah's eye as she left, her smile small but genuine. They were separate now, but the kids tied them, and that was okay. Mike planted tomatoes in the yard that summer, Noah helping despite his grumbles. Olivia painted her room yellow, splattering Mike's shirt in the process. They laughed, the kind of laugh that heals. Life wasn't what Mike had planned, but it was better than pretending. He'd chosen his kids, himself, and every day proved it was worth it.